How you doing, Aquarius? Let's get right into this. Get your Celtic cross. Ooh, 10 of Cups. Well, this is happiness. Emotional happiness in a situation. It's so weird how it comes off like that. It just crosses. It looks like a sun in reverse. Maybe you have, possibly there's an end to a family situation, or it could be that you have an emotional happiness within a family situation or a unit, but there's something unknown. Let's see what goes into this. What's unknown? That was weird. I don't know which ones came out first. Let's try that again. Aquarius past. Get a Celtic cross for Aquarius. Let's get a Celtic cross for Aquarius. Interesting. One more for Aquarius. Not exactly one. Oh. So there's something that you don't know, or 8 of Wands. Maybe something, what don't you know? The foundation, the causes of the situation, your emotional, physical needs, plus your subconscious desires. A communication came in, possibly passionate communication, either anger or explicit communication, or just emails, text messages, communication back and forth. Also quick movement, maybe messages about a movement. Right now you're feeling balanced. Maybe I don't know. I think there's actually an end to a family situation. And the sun here is in reverse because maybe the end came with either a loss of a child or some kind of bad news, an ending towards a family situation or unit in some way, and it ended, and there was an unknown factor as to why it ended. There's something that you're not exactly seeing. Your foundation is communication, movement, passionate communication, back and forth, text messages, emails, calls. The past, what is behind you, your creative talents and abilities, the Tower, Mars energy, Scorpio or Aries. Now, there's an end to a family unit. It was quick, sudden, and unexpected, possibly due to a fight, or possibly communication was found, which maybe your partner was communicating with other people, or you were, Aquarius, or maybe it was just an argument, a fight that, too much was said carelessly, and so much was said that it was things that you couldn't really take back. Now, this fast and sudden ending that happened, possibly due to a fight or disagreement, so your goals, you're ready to move forward. Ready to move forward towards something new, maybe towards a Cancer, or you may have a Cancer in your chart. And possibly, you're either gonna take a trip out of state, country, or just take a drive out of here. You're gonna move out of the situation. You want to put it all behind you because, you feel like there's no sun, there's no happiness, there's no joy left in this situation. And you guys can't get along, you guys can't communicate. Every time you try to communicate, there's arguments, there's fights, there's a lack of compromise, and there's just an overall unable to work together. And I don't know if it's just you who doesn't want to compromise, or if it's the other person that you've tried to speak or work things out. Sorry, my dog is snoring. But one person, definitely both. You don't even feel like it's worth even working on, or trying to work on, or trying to work out at all, or in any way, because you're done. You're ready to move forward. There's just too much has been said. You feel like there's no joy in the situation. You don't communicate with each other well. And it's just like a constant struggle, like a power struggle. And there's somebody, either you or the other person, who just wants to win or pull a power play on you all of the time. And Aquarius, like, you're not having it, because it's like with this person, if this is directed towards you, what they don't understand is that you don't have to put up with it. You don't have to be a party of the situation. And I guess this person felt really comfortable. Perhaps they had a long history with you of always trying to get their way in one way or the other, thinking that you could work things out or compromise situations in general, thinking that you'd be able to work together, but it always ends up the same. Power struggles. Now, how you see yourself, your personal strengths and weaknesses, an individual perspective. This is you, Aquarius. You're the star. You are within your strength. This is also healing. This is also synchronicities. Maybe you have been seeing orbs or lights, but I believe that whatever the situation was, it was a dynamic that played itself over and over again within your life and within these relationships, these type of relationships, for a really long time. And you felt like you had to move away from it and no longer allow yourself to be overruled or subjugated towards it. And because you see where it left you in the past, it robbed you of your joy and your emotional fulfillment. And why would you want to continue to work with someone who constantly tries to pull power plays on you and undermines you? Because you healed within yourself. You love yourself enough to no longer fight with people who are not willing to listen, and no longer colluding with your own downfall. Now, your environment, your home, your surroundings, family, loves, friends, work, that which is outside of yourself, and how others perceive you is the Two of Swords. So whoever is on the outside of you, they're trying to make a decision about something, and they're trying to make a head over heart decision. There's a choice to be made, and there is a stalemate as well. This person is putting their blockers up against you, or they're just trying to make a decision about something. They're at a crossroads. They feel blocked. And perhaps they are blocking communication with you because there's a need to make a decision after this blowout. Maybe after this ending happened and they were so sure they could do the power play again within this dynamic, that when they found that it didn't work so much this time, now that they're kind of closing off and trying to go down a different avenue, because it's like they're not getting what they want from your situation anymore. Which, whenever they were in the situation, it was them getting what they wanted and trying to rule over you. And you no longer want to put yourself in that position. You know, you're no one's whipping child, you know. And you healed, and now that they know that they're no longer getting what they want, they're looking for different avenues. Your future, Knight of Wands. And this is your hopes and fears of attaining the goal, the lesson to be learned, blocking your development. You hope to move away from this quickly, but you also fear that you're giving up like a fake security or a false security, that this person was a false security of some kind of support in your life, but even though it wasn't a very good support or a very helpful support, you feel like if you ever moved away from this completely, then you wouldn't have any support at all. Even though these people didn't support you, this person didn't support you, these people in general, I feel like you blocked a couple of people off. You're no longer doing favors, you're no longer lending out money, you're no longer lending all of your time and energy into other people's wants or needs or responsibilities, while yours go unnoticed or even in the realm of their concern, because honestly, they weren't really concerned with what you needed to do or your responsibilities. Otherwise, they would probably figure out most of that stuff on their own. And it seems like they didn't. Well, they are now. Because maybe you kind of stepped away from this a while ago, and but the same people kept trying to come back and trying to instill the same dynamics. And you're not having it. And you're not investing in anything or anyone who does this to your home, sucks all the joy out of your life and causes conflicts and problems and power plays. And whoever this was, you've had a long-standing history, possibly could have even been a family member, parent, partner, children. But it seems like there was a long history of having your boundaries trampled on, and now you no longer want to deal with the issue. And now you no longer want to compromise yourself, because what these relationships on the outside required was you to compromise all the time. And it's funny how people react towards you when they stop getting what they wanted from you for so long. And if you overgave for so very long, they become closed off. If they can't get anything from you, then is there a reason to communicate with you? Maybe that's why in the past they were so hell-bent on trying to overpower you at every turn, because you were useful. You're definitely ready to move on. You're hoping to move on with passion, but you fear it as well, because whoever you're letting go of, they've had a long-standing history within your life, and even though they weren't a good support, they were the only support you ever knew. The outcome, what you will gain from this experience, the reward, the quality or tool that will help you achieve a breakthrough, is the Three of Pentacles. It's working together. Perhaps you have been going to counseling or therapy. You've been trying to get advice or seek advice from other people. Maybe it's something that you need to do. But there will be a working together within the situation, or maybe that's possible that it would be helpful for you to seek out some advice or possibly even therapy, because it seems like although you are healing, you're going after your dreams, because you have a particular wish you're going towards. It still weighs on you some. Maybe the fact that people cared a lot less than you wanted to believe. And they did that on their everyday actions. They did that by their lack of support or participation or supporting your dreams. It's always about what they needed, what they wanted. Am I getting what I want at the situation? And if I can't get it from Aquarius, then I'll get it from somebody else. And I will punish them by doing the silent treatment. And I could totally see like a family member or even parent that's doing this. It's like they were so codependent. You both were in a mesh for so long that, in some ways you enabled this person to put all of their responsibilities on you, and you hindered them in a lot of ways as well. And it's time to give back to yourself and seek assistance from others. In order for you to achieve your goal, there will be an outcome, a coming together, a working together, or working with somebody in general. But I don't think it's going to be with the person that you're ready to move away from. Like, this is like a new situation after you're moving away here, because there's like nothing really left. And perhaps whatever this family situation was, it was more for show than it was for love. It was more for benefit or need than it was for authenticity, for actual love and support that had empathy. There's assistance that's going to be coming for you, whether it be advice or a tip, but somebody is going to come in and work with you or offer some kind of advice. Maybe you're going to seek some out, but it never hurts to ask people for help when you need it. Perhaps this person is going to come in and ask for wanting to work with you. Now, again, after all of this happened in the past, and so quickly they forget the situations of the past, and that's why they will come in so willy-nilly when they have a need again, and saying that they want to work with you, saying, hey, we'll work together, we'll have a good family unit. But in reality, has there been joy in this situation? And if there was, how long has it been since there was? And how long has it been since there wasn't? Because you're done. And you're not willing to work together with anybody who wants to pull a power play on you. Like possibly even a bully, and people are trying to come back again and saying, I want to work with you. And it's like, man, maybe because you had a big heart and you cared about these people, they were able to sucker their way back in. But I don't think you're going to do this anymore, because perhaps they played on a certain part of you that made you feel like a bad person, like they guilted you a lot, or, you know, they made it feel like you owed them in certain ways. Like if it's a nasty parent or whatever, it's like, I raised you, you know. Maybe it could be an over demanding mother or father, or even a son, but you're not ready to work together with this, or anyone from the past who kind of took you for granted and stood in the way of your dreams. And now that you're going towards your dreams and your wishes, you're ready to guard that with every ounce of your being, because you don't want anyone to stand in your way. And you're no longer feeding the beast of that bottomless bucket that could never be filled, because it's like that, you know, oh, I'll only help a little. But then you find out that you're moving a person's entire house for them, you know, or, you know, they ask for a big loan and they never really pay you back, and, you know, like somehow you always get the short end of the stick, and, you know, like you're not Boo the Fool. And It's crazy how quickly they forget when they get what they want and bounce, that they think they could just come and skip back in and do it all over again. But you ain't having it, because you're doing your thing, you're busy, you're going towards your dreams, and you're building your skill and mastery, and perhaps even a business, but you're hard at work perfecting your craft and putting a lot of effort into it, because you feel like this is your dream, this is your life path. Perhaps you have been getting a lot of synchronicities. So it listens for the signs and synchronicities. Look up those angel numbers if you're seeing a lot of repeating numbers. Because I see a whole lot of major arcana here. Like this is a huge life cycle that's ended. And if this person didn't come back to try to want to work with you again after all of this bad history, they're gonna. But this time you're not taking the bait, and I don't think you should, because this is what it is. Each time you go in, try to be optimistic, and they just suck all the joy out of your life and out of every situation. And you have more than just your time and energy to lose. You have your future, you have your life path, you have your purpose. And that's something that you have to protect, because people like this have thrown you off of your life path much too many times. And you're not going to allow it. And that is a major healing for you, Aquarius. It's what happens when people take your kindness for weakness, and even if you did snap and yell and complain, if they're always taking your times, you always ended up doing it. And regardless of what it took from you, in their head, they're like, well, I got what I wanted. They're not looking at you and saying that you don't have dinner made, your kid's sick, your pets haven't been fed, your house is dirty. They're not looking at that, because they're not concerned about it. They never were. And that's why they could just close off when they don't get what they want, and you no longer give in and feed the beast. And it sucks, because perhaps deep down you hope they did care a lot more than they actually did. Especially if it has been family members or parents or long-standing friends that you knew for forever, oh goodness. It's time for you to receive, Aquarius. See, this is divine feminine. The yin energy is more about accepting and receiving. You're no longer over giving or having lopsided relationships where people just take. You're waiting for you to receive now. You're waiting for reciprocation. You're waiting for working together, because you're trying to do things by the book now. Try to get organized, try to make a schedule. You know, you're trying to keep things in order, possibly declutter. Maybe it's something that you need to do. No longer, don't overwork or overdo for anyone or anything. Unless, you know, the relationship is a give and take one. You know, a traditional relationship. Something that is a conventional relationship, a community, about working together, about generational support and help and care. And this is something that you want, and if you can't get it from the family unit that you have because it was never offered, then you're more than willing to work on it individually within your family unit on your own, excluding the ones who just use you as another commodity. You feel like higher power. Maybe you feel like you've had a lot of runs of bad luck, or you're unsure if anyone is there to support you, whether it being the universe or family members, but you haven't felt supported in a really long time. And perhaps you overgave in many different ways because it's the way it's always been. It was a story that was told to you, that was your position in life. And it kind of took away all of your hope for the future and belief in yourself and of your gifts. And perhaps you went cold, and you have a way of closing off emotionally, which will throw you off balance, because if you refuse to see or deal with a situation or trauma or a tragic end, and you just go cold and you close off, and you find out you are less balanced and you're less prepared to just run your life, and maybe people would see you as out of control or flying off the handle. It's because you've repressed so much emotion and situations that you kind of expect it, like that's the way it is and that's the way it's always been. Perhaps you've been burned out for much too long, and you just try to get through it, just get through it. And you do that by blocking everything out. It's like, yeah, that was crappy, it was an issue, I'll just get past it, I'll just move on, I still just gotta do. But then with all that doing, you refuse to see the issue or process it, and you push it aside, and you repress those emotions, and you find yourself being agitated more, and you feel you find yourself feeling hopeless. You find yourself losing your cool. It's time to clean it up. You've been depleted by these people that you've had around you, and perhaps you were raised in a dynamic that you were the doer, you were the handmaid of the family or the scapegoat, and you've had that habit of overdoing and overachieving and perfectionism because in some weird ways you feel like you don't deserve that love because the people around you kind of only treated you like you were only useful if you were doing for them. You were only lovable if you were useful. Perhaps this was like a family dynamic, like you were the youngest child in the family and you were like a girl, and these are dynamics where those positions are generally at the bottom position in some families. And you went through your life a lot just shutting down and going cold, and because that's how you got through life. But even though it was a self-defense mechanism, it was a tool that kept you safe when you were younger, it definitely became a false belief and a hindrance to any functional or healthy relationship that you come across. And what false beliefs that you have about yourself that you have to let go of. It's time for you to release people, places, things, false beliefs, negative self-talk, and cut it all out of your life. It's time to declutter. It's time to clean up, because, and if you have trouble knowing where to start with your room. You know, because it's true, like in psychology, the state of your room is the state of your mind. And the way you eliminate multiple distractions is to get rid of the things that you no longer need and no longer serve you. Possibly shutting down emotionally when things get too hard automatically and becoming that robot. And perhaps you switch back and forth through that state in times of conflict without even really realizing it. But you're ready to heal all of that. And what's going to help you? It's time to clean up, declutter, and get rid of all those people, places, and things that distract you, that take you off your path. Because when you do, you're going to feel so much more energy and so much more rejuvenation. And you could rebuild this burnt up city, forest, and tower into a thriving, green, and abundant village. Because now you understand it's no point to look through all of the rubble of the fire of what you lost. It's a lost cause. There's nothing there for you. Now it's time to put that focus and all of your amazing gifts onto something that will give you long-term results instead of just being there for everyone else's needs. Time to go, Aquarius. This Lion's Gate opened a portal in order for you to enter a new phase of life. But the only way you'll be able to walk through that door is that you gotta cut out the things that have kept you stuck for so long and got in the way of your path and healing. you got work to do, because what you're going to work on, even though you're unsure of what it will hold as in the results, deep down you're going to know if this is the right path for you, because it's something that will breathe life into you and energy and purpose. Because that's where the depression comes from, right? Is the fact that if a person loses their purpose, because even though you think that the divine isn't there for you, and you know that he absolutely is, because he has been throwing these obstacles in your path and these difficult relationships because it was needed in order to create you in the image that you needed to be in order for you to achieve your purpose in life. And it was like the universe coming down and molding the people out of mud and clay and from the earth. But it takes pressure in order to form that mud into a being or a humanoid form. It takes pressure, and the path is never easy. And if it is, more than likely it's not the right path. But I can't say that. I guess if you would look at it another way, once you're following your purpose, things will get easier and things will flow with you easier. When you don't follow your path, things get chaotic and hopeless. And it's akin to a soul death. And you no longer want that. You want to breathe life into you, back into your own life. And you know that's the way you're going to achieve that, is no longer keep the people around who feed on your energy. But that's what I got for you, Aquarius. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.